The world is on the move. Migrants are seeking safety and economic opportunity, but this is causing political backlash.
Chicago and New York are at breaking point as surge of migrants heads north.
Lahaina fire victims remain homeless, threatening the culture and economy of Maui.
China's Xi warns of economic winds and rains as recovery disappoints.
Investors have cut China's internet giants down to size. Volkswagen is on an elusive quest to make an EV for the masses.
U.S. Navy destroys boats controlled by Iran-backed militias in the Red Sea. Israel experiences murder, sexual violence, and torture on October 7th.
The landscape of Gaza is ruined after nearly 3 months of bombing.
President Biden becomes America's newest oil trader extraordinaire. Republicans have a great chance to retake the Senate in 2024, but there are wild cards that could help Democrats retain their majority. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis bets on Iowa to keep him afloat in the GOP race.
Manufacturing is in a slump despite signs of a renaissance.
Minimum wages are going up, but low-paid workers probably won't notice.
Apps Best Budgeting Apps for Individuals, Startups, and Small Businesses. Good news. The article suggests that there are several budgeting apps available for individuals, startups, and small businesses, indicating a wide range of options to choose from.
GitHub makes Copilot Chat generally available, letting devs ask questions about code. Good news. GitHub's release of Copilot Chat allows developers to ask programming-related questions, enhancing their coding experience and improving productivity.
6 great audiobook apps that aren't Audible. Good news. The article highlights alternative audiobook apps to Audible, providing readers with more options to access and enjoy audiobooks. The Equity Crew predicts we'll see fewer VCs in 2024. Bad news. The predictions suggest that there will be a decline in venture capitalists, VCs, in the coming year, potentially indicating a slowdown in investment activities and opportunities for startups.
TechCrunch's favorite apps of 2023, Neutral News. The article reviews favorite apps of 2023 without specifying whether they are good or bad. It simply reflects on the apps that made everyday life easier.
AI company executives can ensure generative AI is ethical with these steps. The article suggests that AI company executives can take specific steps to ensure that their generative AI systems are ethical. This is good news, as it highlights the importance of ethical considerations in AI development.
Facing roadblocks, China's robotaxi darlings apply the brakes. The article discusses how several Chinese robotaxi startups are facing challenges and slowing down their operations. This is bad news for these companies as it indicates potential difficulties in their business growth.
Should Auld Acquaintance be robot? The article expresses that the week between Christmas and New Year's Day is typically quiet for news in the tech industry. This is neutral news, as it simply describes the quiet period during that particular week.
GitHub makes Copilot Chat generally available, letting devs ask questions about code. The article announces that GitHub has made Copilot Chat, a programming-centric chatbot, generally available. This is good news, as it provides developers with a helpful tool for asking questions about code.
The Equity Crew predicts we'll see fewer VCs in 2024. The article discusses predictions made by the Equity Crew that there will be fewer venture capitalists in 2024. This is potentially bad news for startups seeking funding, as it suggests a potential decrease in available venture capital.
Jiangsu Rec Biotechnology Co. Ltd. has good news, as their novel adjuvanted recombinant shingles vaccine RACE 6110 has shown positive results in the interim analysis of its first-in-human clinical trial in the Philippines.
Novotech has released a new report highlighting the positive news that there are currently 1,000 HIV clinical trials happening worldwide. This is important because HIV is a medical condition that affects over 39 million people globally. The trials mentioned in the report show that there is ongoing research and development in the field of HIV, which may lead to the advancement of treatment options and ultimately a cure for the disease.
Anne Merchant's appointment to the board of directors of Biodexa Pharmaceuticals plc is announced as good news. She will serve as a non-executive director, starting from 31st of December 2023. SeaStar Medical has enrolled 12 subjects in its Neutralize-AKI clinical trial, which is studying the effectiveness and safety of its selective cytopheretic device in adults with acute kidney injury who need continuous kidney replacement therapy. The company's device is a patented therapy that directs cells to specific areas in the body.
Semaglutide is a revolutionary breakthrough in weight management and is classified as a glucagon-like peptide 1 (GLP-1) receptor agonist. GLP-1 is a hormone naturally produced in the body that helps regulate blood sugar levels and appetite. GLP-1 receptor agonists, like semaglutide, work by stimulating GLP-1 receptors in the brain, which leads to increased feelings of fullness and reduced appetite. This can result in decreased food intake and weight loss. Semaglutide is different from other weight management products because it specifically targets GLP-1 receptors, providing a more targeted and effective approach to weight management. Overall, this news from Hi-Tech Pharmaceuticals is seen as a good development in the field of weight management, as it introduces a new and innovative solution that could potentially help individuals struggling with weight loss. Enveric Biosciences has chosen EB003 as its top drug candidate from the EVM301 series.
Ascendis Pharma has good news because their executives will be participating in the 42nd annual J.P. Morgan Healthcare Conference.
Heranova Life Sciences has good news, as they have secured $13.5 million in seed and seed plus funding to develop and provide integrated clinical solutions for women's health globally.
B Biopharma has a good news. The company's CEO, Joanne Smith-Farrell, Ph.D., will be presenting at the 42nd annual J.P. Morgan Healthcare Conference. This conference is a significant event in the healthcare industry, and being invited to present demonstrates the company's recognition and importance in the field. B Biopharma is known for its work in the discovery and development of engineered B-cell medicines, which refers to medications created by modifying B cells, a type of immune cell, to have specific therapeutic properties. The presentation at this prestigious conference provides an opportunity for B Biopharma to showcase its groundbreaking work and potential contributions to the field of medicine. Titan Pharmaceuticals has announced a reverse stock split, where every 20 shares of the company's common stock will be consolidated into one share. This decision was approved by the company's board of directors and will take effect once an amendment to the company's amended and restated certificate of incorporation is filed.
Chinese AI startup DP Tekken aims to expand its AI technology into human oncology, indicating good news for the company as it expands its market. California-based precision medicine startup Imprimed builds AI-powered dog cancer treatment technology, suggesting positive developments in the field of pet healthcare.
Apple halts sales of its Watch Series 9 due to a patent dispute, signifying bad news for the company as it faces legal challenges.
Valley investors are targeting cow burps in the fight against methane, indicating positive efforts to address greenhouse gas emissions. Cogita raises $86 million in a Series B round to compete with Angkor Store in Europe, demonstrating good news for the wholesale marketplace as it secures substantial funding. FirstCry, India's largest e-commerce platform for mother and baby products, plans to raise $218 million through an IPO, which is considered good news as it indicates potential growth and investment opportunities.
Etsy's recent layoffs reflect qualitative challenges faced by the company, such as concerns about the quality of products being sold on the platform. This news is negative for Etsy as it highlights potential issues with its business model.
The EU's provisional deal on gig worker rights did not receive enough backing from member states, which is bad news for precarious gig workers who are hoping for improved rights and protections.
HomeCooks, positioning itself as the Etsy of food, has successfully raised $3.2 million in seed funding, showcasing potential growth and investor interest, which is good news for the company. African B2B e-commerce platforms MaxAB and Wasoko are in talks to merge operations, signifying potential consolidation and growth opportunities in the market. This is seen as good news for both companies.
Crypto India is blocking the websites of crypto exchanges Binance and Kraken. Bad news. The Indian government agency is scrutinizing financial transactions and taking action against these exchanges, which could hinder their operations in India.
NFTs can survive thanks to the communities that drive them. Good news. Despite the criticism, there is a belief in the industry that NFTs have underlying value and various use cases, which suggests they can continue to thrive. Hackers stole $2 billion in crypto in 2023. Bad news. Although the trend is slightly declining compared to previous years, this is still a significant amount of money lost to cybercriminals. SVB, SBF, and OpenAI are discussed in a podcast, no specific company news.
Archon Energy raised $110 million to expand its Bitcoin mining and launch an AI cloud service. Good news. The company is investing in expanding its mining capacity and diversifying its services, which suggests growth and innovation.
Biden has a good news. His administration has extended the temporary suspension of Trump-era tariffs on European steel and aluminum for 2 more years.
The data quality is getting worse, which is bad news as we might need accurate numbers the most.
There is a good news for low-paid workers as 22 states are increasing the minimum wages, although many fast food cooks and housekeepers have already received larger raises. The dissenting votes at the Federal Reserve's interest rate setting committee meetings are almost extinct, which is seen as a positive development during Jerome Powell's tenure as the head of the central bank.
Americans might be feeling down, but the Misery Index suggests that overall spending is up, which is a surprising trend. Cities across the country are changing zoning laws to accommodate more housing units and address housing shortages and soaring housing costs, although this practice has been controversial.
Heard on the Street has good news. Their stock-picking contest is happening, and readers can read about the columnists' favorite and least favorite stocks.
Sam Bankman-Fried, the FTX founder, won't face a second criminal trial as prosecutors have decided not to seek additional charges against him after winning a fraud conviction. Investors are navigating the bond market in 2024, facing challenges including inflation and the deficit.
China's internet giants have been cut down to size after a lousy 3 years, and investors are wondering where things will go from here.
Private equity firms had a quiet year in 2023, under pressure from all sides.
Auto insurers might have a better drive ahead of them in 2024, with repair cost inflation moving in the right direction.
Fintech had a wild ride in 2023, with various news stories surfacing throughout the year. Fintech had a wild ride in 2023, with various news stories surfacing throughout the year. Fintech had a wild ride in 2023, with various news stories surfacing throughout the year. Fintech had a wild ride in 2023, with various news stories surfacing throughout the year.
No specific company mentioned, just discussing the flawed equal weight on growth and profitability for latest stage businesses.
The article, Remembering the Startups We Lost in 2023, highlights the closure of startups, indicating bad news for those particular companies. The article, The Biggest Startup Stories from 2023, summarizes the significant events and stories in the startup world without specifically mentioning any company.
The article, With Hopes for Greener Grass in Germany Vanishing, Consolidation is in the Cards for Cannabis Companies, mentions the challenging funding environment for cannabis startups, suggesting a difficult situation for those companies.
The article, The TechCrunch Plus Surveys You Need to Read Ahead of 2024, talks about the surveys conducted by TechCrunch without providing specific news about any particular company.
The article, Shield AI expands massive Series F with another $300 million in equity, debt, scaling valuation to $2.8 billion, announces the expansion of funding for defense tech startup Shield AI, indicating good news for the company. Venture, Remembering the Startups We Lost in 2023. This article discusses the collapse of startups in 2023, indicating bad news for those specific companies.
The TechCrunch Plus surveys you need to read ahead of 2024. This article does not mention any specific companies. It shares investors' and founders' thoughts from surveys, which could be either good or bad news depending on the opinions expressed.
Play our 2023 TechCrunch Pub Quiz. Round 2. This article is about a quiz and does not mention any specific companies.
More than 40 investors share their top predictions for 2024. This article does not mention any specific companies. It shares predictions and expectations from investors, which could be either positive or negative.
3 years after BLM, here's who stuck to their diversity commitments. This article looks back at promises made by companies and investors following the Black Lives Matter protests, indicating either good or bad news, depending on whether they fulfilled their commitments.